I get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you
Greetings technicians, this is Admin Crow here, your coach of the Toronto Star Raptors, bringing you the battle for Season 3 of the PCL Origins League for the semifinals. This week we are taking on Coach Fury, aka BBT, aka the coach of the Desolated Earth Bladers. In the team builder, which I should have went up 2 days ago, I covered the stats that I'm bringing and I also broke down Fury's roster. So in this video, I'm just gonna jump into the battle and go over my turn-to-turn thought process and see if the Raptors can pop a W and proceed to the finals of this season of the Pokemon Champions League. So over here at team preview, I see right away that he basically brought all the threats that I expected, including the Kovac, which is something he didn't bring last time. I was actually really surprised to see the Latios over the Necrozma, both being really offensive psychic types. I think Necrozma might have a better matchup against me. The combination of potentially set up Volcarona via Quiver Dance and also Tyranitar is the main reasons that I don't think Latios will come over Necrozma. And yeah, so over here at team preview, of course he doesn't have Rapid Spinner on his roster, and he brought 2 potential defoggers and 1 rocker, I guess being the Rotom Wash and the Latios, and also the Nidoqueen respectively. Last time when he played against me, he brought a Scarf Nidoqueen, so that's in the back of my mind. But he got completely destroyed by Magnet Rise Klefki. And another reason for me to be surprised of him bringing Latios is also because Magnet Rise Klefki also wall testing pretty well, and I did bring that against him the last time we played in the regular season. That's why I don't expecting him to bring Latios for the same reason. Expecting me to bring Magna Rise Klefki, which I almost brought for this game. Anyways, again, back to the team preview. I'm just gonna go with my initial plan and try to get up webs right away, as I don't see the Mega Metacham, which is actually such a humongous threat against my team. I'm really glad not seeing it. So let's just get started, shall we? So first up, I think in turn 1 here, he does lead Nidoqueen as I lead with my Charlotte Galvantula. As you guys can see, he actually straight up gone for the Earth Power. I also stayed in. I wanted to find out whether if he's Scarf. I believe I am Focus Sash. So I live any hit he wants to go for. I actually was expecting him to go for the Flamethrower this time around, even if he is Scarfed. So I didn't go for the Protect to Scout simply because there was no need. I don't want to risk him getting up rocks as I go for the Protect. And I was willing to trade rocks for webs anyways. Knowing that he was locked into Earth Power, I was pretty confident I can live one with my Hitmontop. I actually made a misplay here because I took off my Assault Vest right before the game. So I was actually thinking that I will take this a lot better than I did if I had the Assault Vest, right? So I was actually no item thief technician Hitmontop. So over here I'm just gonna predict his switch out by just going for a thief. He didn't actually go into the Kovac right away, so I was actually a little bit surprised. But this middle ground prey also works out for him because he can not only threaten my Hitmontop, but be able to take the hit really well. And be able to defog away my webs potentially. But I did steal his Ringleberry. You guys will see in a little bit whether if the Ringleberry comes into play, the stolen Ringleberry. So over here, I believe I do switch out back into my Galvantula. I just wanted to use as a sack if he does go for an attack, and plus I know the fact that I can threaten it out with an energy ball, which I don't have. But because the fact that Ringleberry was stolen, I know that he doesn't have too much anymore for my grass coverage, and plus this play also covers the fact that in case he doesn't knock me out and go for defog that turn, I can spam webs until he knocks me out. So that was my idea. But of course he actually went for the Thunder Wave. As you can see, he didn't do anything to me because I'm electric type. That didn't matter as much. He pretty much got me a free switch in. But my initial idea was just to you know, keep my webs up anyway. I'm just gonna go for Bug Buzz followed by web spam as he goes for defog repetitively until he knocks me out with a Hydro Pump. I just want to be able to keep up my webs. And over here I did some calc because the fact that I am Life Orb, I do knock out the Rotom Wash from the range that it was at. It is not max defense. I calculated with max HP with Side Shock, I mean. So I don't have to go for one of my stab, and of course it also covers the Nidoqueen switch in, which is actually literally the only mon that he can switch into a Nihilego on his roster. That did 5 million, and because the fact that I know he is Scarfed, I don't want to risk him double into Sharpedo right here, predicting my Side Shock. So I actually reveal my Power Gem on the following turn just to be able to knock out his Nidoqueen. So the webs did come in pretty handy here, as he was being able to you know, slow down the Nidoqueen for my Nihilego. So as he does go into his Latios on the free switching, I'm just gonna hard into my T-Tar. I know very well that he could be physically offensive by going for a potential Dragon Dance or Earthquake. I know this matchup pretty well because last season Lo-Fi had Latios on his roster, and we did come up with a physically offensive weakness policy Dragon Dancing set prepping against the Tyranitar. So I know it was pretty difficult for the Latios to go up a Tyranitar no matter which set it brought. So he actually predicted my switch in very well, and by going for the Earthquake, but he does reveal the fact that he is Life Orb, so I'm pretty confident I can knock him out with a crunch here. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done that because this actually not only revealed that I am Choice Scarf, but also give him free switch into Slurpuff, which is where the turning point of the game happened. I was actually pretty sick when I played him. I didn't really want to play him because the condition that I was in, but at the same time I don't want to drag out the game any further. So over here is a pretty tough play, right? So if you guys watch my builder, I actually EV my Volcarona to outspeed +2 speed Slurpuff under webs if he is not a speed boosting nature, and I am a +1 with my Quiver Dance. So last time he played me, he brought a red card Slurpuff. So red card is only consumed when I attack him. So over here, right, so my only way of potentially coming back here is hoping him is red card again or an item that doesn't trigger by itself as he goes for Belly Drum. If he's Citrus Berry or any sort of Super Berry, which will trigger regardless, if he goes for the Belly Drum when obviously his HP is below a certain amount, there's no point. I guess there's no difference in me staying and go for crunch or make a switch in, or make a hard switch into something else, right? So this is the reason behind the move that I made here is banking him on being red card again, so the item wouldn't be consumed, so he doesn't get unburden boost as he goes for the Belly Drum. So I can outspeed with my Nihilego and just be able to threaten it out with a Sludge Wave. So that was my idea. If I was Choice Scarfed Nihilego, it would help a lot more. I probably should have brought Choice Scarfed Nihilego. Now I'm thinking about it because the prediction to Nidoqueen wasn't all that difficult. Having that being said, as he goes for the Belly Drum and busts out the Citrus Berry, he's just a standard Citrus Berry. Slurpuff, Pastry Boy, Pastry Girl is about destroying my soul, as I am, in fact, now Choice Scarf with my Nihilego. So over here, right, there's still a slight chance of me coming back if he is not Jolly, and my Volcarona can probably live a Play Rough or Dream Punch, even though that he's plus 6. I don't know about return. I did not calculate return. I might live a return depending on my investment. Anyways, so over here, I just hard swapped into Volcarona here, thinking I'll be able to live a potential Dream Punch or a play rough, right? And it's very unlikely that he goes for return against my Nihilego anyways. And maybe, just maybe, I can live another one depending on his coverage and get up a Quiver Dance and be able to knock him out on the following turn. The only reason I wasn't trying to cripple him down with a sand, yeah, just a sand to put him in range in Bullet Punch with my TK the Hem on top, is because he does have access to Dream Punch, which I do expect him to have, specifically for my Tyranitar, just because you know, I can't really try to whittle him down because he can gain back health so easily with Dream Punch anyways. So he does go for the Dream Punch right here. As you can see, I do live another one if he does go for it, but the thing is I got a burn, which I wasn't even expecting it. I didn't make this play to, you know, to bang on a burn or anything, because Volcarona is the only mon on my team that can potentially take a hit, as not only resists the play rough but also the Dream Punch coming from him. So this actually drastically changed the game. So over here, I don't have roots on my Volcarona, but I did the calc. I actually live a return from this range. So I'm just gonna go for the Giga Drain right here to get some residual damage off on him, as he just go for another return to be able to knock me out. So the burn was huge. Definitely now I can just go into my TK the Hem on top and go for a Bullet Punch and try to certain out the Pastry Boy. I don't know why he saved it as a sack. I don't really understand, because the fact that it's burned already and basically used its setup up already. If I were him, I would have just sacked Pastry Boy, the Slurpuff anyways, right there, even if he is expecting a Bullet Punch coming from my TK. So over here, I actually swapped out, I believe, right here, hard into my Tyranitar. The reason being, I know he probably doesn't have anything for me outside of potentially Will-O-Wisp or Hidden Power Fighting. And I didn't calculate Hidden Power Fighting, but I know I do live a Shadow Ball from this range anyways. I'm just, and I am packing the Facade in case I get burned. So he actually set up Trick Room on the turn that I swapped, and another nasty prod as I go for a crunch. So along with the sand damage, that actually put him in range in another round of sand. So I actually lived the +2 Shadow Ball coming from it as well. So I was really surprised he didn't have Energy Ball for me. So over here, I was being able to knock him out with the sand and live on 6% or something. So this is pretty big, again, simply because this basically allows me to burn another turn on Trick Room with my Tyranitar living. So I'm just going to stay in and sack my Tyranitar. And if he wants to go for Defog right there, I can just knock him out with a crunch. But he did go for T-Ball, then just knock out my T-Tar. So this is the last turn of Trick Room, I believe. So over here, right, so he has two options. By going for Hydro Pump, there's a chance to knock my Nihilego out. If not, it will definitely be a double down once I go for an attack, and I will die to my Life Orb residual damage anyways. But he did decide to go for the Defog. I just straight up and go for an attack here with my Nihilego, knowing that he is going to be going first with under this Trick Room. I was willing to sack my Nihilego to secure my webs, because my mana feed does knock out every single mon he has left anyways. If not, my win con is actually my TK, because it will knock out Rotom from the range as with Mach Punch, and knock out Pastry Boy with Bullet Punch, and knock out Sharpedo with Mach Punch. So just a combination of technician moves, I can pretty much secure the game. So he does go for the Defog right here and get rid of the webs as I knock him out with Sludge Wave. And over here, because I know very well that I can win the game with TK, I actually made a switch into my my Manaphy, knowing that he very well can go for energy ball, but he actually gone for a protect right there, trying to get a speed boost, which I can understand, of course, but it's not gonna matter at that point. I'm just gonna be able to knock him out with an energy ball and knock out Pastry Boy as well with a Scald on the following turn. So yeah, it's gonna be a 3-0 here for the semifinals. So GG to Fury, right? Definitely, and I'm really glad the Raptors can pop a W this time around against him in the playoffs. In case you guys didn't know, for last season, Fury was actually the coach who knocked us out of playoffs round 1 in the Generations League. Sorry about the hacks. This is not the way that I wanted to win. But of course, without the hacks, I might have a way around his Slurpuff, but I admit it will definitely be very difficult. But it is what it is, right? This is the game we play. So Flame Body finally coming clutch this season. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. The Raptors will be moving on to the grand finals of the PCL Origins League. In the finals, we will be facing Husam-sama, who's the coach of actually Damascus Kofag. I don't actually remember his I'm sorry, but I don't actually remember his full team name. But in any case, Husam-sama is actually the coach who 6-0'd us in the regular season, the only coach who 6-0'd us actually. So it will be another revenge match potentially after this week's revenge match on Fury. So again, GG to Fury. Good luck next season. Hope you make to the finals and stop getting knocked out in semifinals. I won't be playing next season, so yeah, this hacks definitely won't happen. Knock on wood to you next season. Anyways, again, hope you guys enjoyed. This is gonna be Admin Crow here signing off. See you guys next time. Goodbye, Technicians.